Hi everyone, my name is PJ Makish. I graduated from the University of Montana in 1992 with a Bachelor of Science in Resource Conservation, and I had a minor in concentration in International Resource Management.
I'm Pamela Wright, class of '87. I graduated with degrees in English and history.
I'm Ken Beatty. Uh, I graduated in 1966 and I started out as a chemistry major, and then before I graduated, I changed to microbiology.
My name is Kay Ebelt, and I graduated from the University of Montana in 1984 with a degree in elementary education.
What stands out to me about my time at the University of Montana was the ultimate equation for an undergraduate experience. First of all, I loved my peers, people like Paula Rosenthal, Brian Cook, others that I went to school with. They were just great human beings. Second was the ultimate venue. I mean, I came from North Jersey and, I had applications to East Coast schools. And when I got off the plane at Missoula by myself at the age of 18, I just decided right there when my feet hit the tarmac that this is where I'm going.
I think I received a real solid foundation for my career. Also, I had my very first laboratory research experience while I was there, working in a lab that had me help extract pigments from plant cells and then characterize them by spectroscopy.
What I remember, I think most are my friendships and the unforgettable moments that came with them. I think of the late night tennis practices in East Missoula, climbing the M for sure, and never missing a chance to cheer on the Grizz during Cat Grizz games.
I received invaluable guidance from Professor Lois Welch that went beyond my studies of literature and helped me to understand how to have a voice as a woman at the table in the early days of my career, when often I was the only woman at the table.
I felt called to the military when I was a kid. I read a book called Stanley Carnell's History of Vietnam. It's like the definitive history of Vietnam. It's like this thick. It's still, there hasn't been a better book written. People who teach Vietnam still use this book as the textbook, written in 1984. I read it the year it came out, and I felt drawn. Like, if all these people went through this for our nation, why not me? So that was my first thing. My dad was a Marine, and he was at the end of Korea, the Korean conflict, so that was in my background. But my mother forbid me from joining the military until I got my degrees. So that's what led me to Montana. So I started to obey my mother by coming to the best school I could possibly find in the farthest reaches of the West, and honored her.
So I received federal work study, and I was lucky enough to get a job working in the archives of the Mike and Maureen Mansfield Library for Archivist Dale Johnson. And there I was able to transcribe oral histories of the Montana smoke jumpers in World War II. It was fascinating work, and it got me really excited about working in archives.
Make sure that you know why you're there, to build a career. And it's good to have fun while you're there, as I did, too much probably. But you have to look to the future and plan and strategize about what you're going to do next and how your career is going to develop and how it can benefit society.
I became a commercial pilot at 61, and it wasn't just a personal milestone. It was a reminder that education doesn't stop at graduation. Keep growing, keep serving, and keep dreaming.
So it's delightful and humbling, and I owe so much to this school that goes beyond simply academic learning. The counseling, connections, and support I received equipped me for a very challenging and rewarding career, and I'm very thankful to this school.
It is an incredible honor, one that feels deeply personal. The University of Montana has played a significant role in shaping who I am, both personally and professionally. So being named a distinguished alumni feels truly full circle. And it also honors all the mentors and students and colleagues who have worked this journey with me. So it's not something I've done alone.
So, first and foremost, I would love to thank Paula Rosenthal because without her, you guys wouldn't know me. So, I'm just super thankful for her. She's such a great human. I smile when I think about her. Her spirit is just amazing. We were peers the whole way, like graduated together and everything. And so, Paula Rosenthal, I'd love to thank. My best man, my best friend, and the biggest influence on my life was a former professor at the University of Montana, Dr. Fabian Uzo. So I would love to thank him because there's been nobody that's been more dominant in helping me with my ways 0 to 10 in my spiritual pillar. I mean, nobody more dominant, nobody I admire more, nobody I respect more to this day. I mean, he is still rocking spiritually, like crushing life spiritually. So those are two people I'd love to thank. Not directly related to my Montana experience. Would love to thank my son Daniel. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me, and he's my only. And I live to raise him well, and so he'll be there with me, and so I'd love to thank him too.
There's a lot of people I would like to thank, and above all, my family. Thank you for your constant love, laughter, and support. To my parents, who are forever cheering "Go Grizz" from above. You've been with me every step of the way. Thank you to Robin Kraus, Ben Millspaugh, Karen Sutton, and Melody Burson for the beautiful letters of support. To Randa, Margie, Deanne for years of friendship and my constant source of encouragement. To the administrators of all the schools I've been at. Thank you for truly letting me live my dream. And when the head of school says to you, "Hey, we're going to build an airplane," you just know you're in the right place. I also want to mention two of my friends, Kelly and Karen, whose journey to celebrate with me came to an extraordinary cost, enduring chemotherapy, radiation, surgeries, and days so difficult that they could barely speak. This honor is not mine alone, and it is shared with them.
There are a very large number of them. Well, one is my friend John Bergeson, who was the one that urged me to apply. And he talked to my sister, who was also an alum, and she and her husband are donors, and they live in Helena. And she got my sister to agree to submit the application and compile everything and get it submitted, which she did wonderfully. Of course, all of the people involved in my education while I was at UM, the people in the alumni selection committee, and Jody, and of course my wife Wanda. She put up with me all these years and tried to take up some of the slack when I was working too hard. And of course, she's always been working at least as hard as I have. She had a similar career to me. She wasn't on faculty, but she worked in the lab for many, many years, several labs in similar field of DNA sequencing, and she trained a lot of students and postdocs and technicians, and then she supported me as my career developed as well.
There's a lot of them. The professors in the history and English departments were so generous and patient with me, and I owe everything to them. And I have a list of names. I'm sure I'm missing some, but I want to shout out Professor Harrington, Professor Beavis, Welch, Lindsay, Dozier, Fritz, Drake, and archivist Dale Johnson, who gave me my first archives job and showed me what a treasure archives are. I'm also thankful to Dan Gallagher, Alan Newell, Carol Conrad, and the staff at Historical Research Associates, the company here in Missoula, who gave me my first job out of college and supported my research in archives around the country for a decade before I started working at the National Archives. I owe my career to all of these people, and I'm so thankful to them.